John here, preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ on this beautiful, blessed day, praying that you may be saved, and that if you are, that you continue in your salvation and maintain it to the end. May God keep you, and may you continue to abide in Him, trust in Him, press into God, because if you have received Jesus Christ and you continue to live unto Him, then you are going the right way. That is the answer. You have found the answer to life. And what a blessed thing to rejoice daily, knowing that we've gotten the right answer, the right way, the right direction, right? They're full of joy and hope, knowing their end, knowing that good is right before them and on their way, because God is with us. God is a God of the living. He's with us. He blesses us on the way. Right? He gives confirmation and affirmation to let you know, yeah, you're on the right track. And so why would we leave the faith? Why would we fall off? It's because we stopped pressing in. We stopped reminding ourselves, wait, God is what? God does what? Right? You can forget if you don't daily read, if you don't daily have the scriptures on your mind, because He did compare it to looking at yourself in the mirror. You forget what you look like. I remember taking an art class where they had us make a self-portrait, right? We had a mirror, I think, and we looked at our face and we would draw. Oh, that's my face, right? But how hard would that be if you don't have a mirror and you're just trying to draw, right? People usually look at a bowl of fruit and draw that, or a model and draw that. But if you don't have a reference and you try to draw it, what does my little nose look like? What does my eye look like? How far apart is it? How big is it? And what's the ratio? And it would just come out very different than if you were looking and drawing. And so that's how God calls us to live our lives. Look at Jesus, live your life. Look at Jesus, what should you do? Look at Jesus, how should you be? Look at Jesus, what should I be thinking? How should I walk? How should I live? Reading the scriptures, going back to your daily walk, worshiping Him, going back to doing your daily duties, right? Praying unto Him, and going back to prayer, going back, right? Working, and even having a consistent, constant connection, right? So even you might pray for your meal, right? Thank you for this meal. Let it be blessed. We give thanks for it, God. Amen. And then you don't leave God. That's not when you cut the connection with God. No, you should still be engaged, still, right? Yeah. There's something that I remembered and held on to when a minister said, when you say amen, that doesn't mean goodbye, God. You say amen, and your mind is still on God. You might start to eat, start to fellowship, start to talk, but that doesn't mean that, okay, we did the God part. We did the religious part. Now time to be some other person. No, you're one person, one way. You give thanks to God, you enjoy what God gives, and you're constantly in your heart. Yeah, there's some processing going on, just like a computer, right? You have background processes. You got apps open, but in some apps running in the background. There's always this awareness of God that you should be living with. And so some might not, you might not. It's time to consistently, constantly remain connected with God, that being your foundation, your basis with which you live your life. That's your identity. So deeply in you, such a big part of you that it should inform everything you do. And if it doesn't, strive for that. Make it that way. Be intentional about it. So whenever we hear the scriptures, whenever we hear the doctrine, whenever we hear preaching about the goal, right? What we're aiming for, what we're striving for, what you should be, never be discouraged, because there's a gap between where you are and what's being preached, what you're being encouraged to do or to reach or to become. Never be discouraged by the gap, because it's an invitation, it's an encouragement for you to go, for you to move, to start going, start moving, start making the changes, get to work, right? And so, that'd be strange if you're at work and the boss gives you an assignment, right? Gives you something to do and you get discouraged. That'd be weird, right? No, you're ready. You come to work with an expectation to work. Right? Okay, boss, all right, team meeting. All right, what are we doing today? Right? You want to do. And so, yeah, some people might get discouraged because God's work includes you. You in the world, we might be focused on other things, right? Martha came from that, and she was being transitioned out of that. It was about what she could touch with her hands. It was about the leaking roof. It was about the busted pipes. It was about the yellowing paint. We got to do this. We got to do this with our hands. And God, sometimes we're surprised because God says, no, you are very much a part of that work. Yes, you got to do all that, but don't leave this out. Don't leave what out? You. I'm working on you. You are what I'm working on. I'm shaping you, molding you. And so, people might carry that mentality from before we were saved, where we're trying not to think about me. Right? Don't talk about me. Don't criticize me. I'm not trying to be. No one's perfect. Let me go. Live and let live. Cut me some slack. All right, just hey, we could link up and do this project, do this work. Habitat for Humanity. Let's do a volunteering project. We're doing good. And they think they're good. They think that's good. And if something goes wrong, deflect, right? Defend yourself. Blame others, right? It's a circumstance. It's a situation. It's not me. Hey, get off of me. Don't talk about me. That's offensive. That's rude, right? You don't address me. I'm not going to address you. And so that's how we live in the world. With God, no, we started, right? Okay, so you have been avoiding that. You've been hiding. You've been attacking others who try to bring up something about you. Right? You're always right. You're always justifying yourself. But that's all. It's time to change. Once you're saved, God says, no, I am going to talk about you. I am putting you on the chopping block. And yes, your stuff too and things around you, but it's all tied to you. It's all in relation to you and how it affects you and how it develops you. So even when God gives us instruction to go somewhere, to sacrifice something, right, to Abraham to kill his son, and when he agrees, it's working on a part of him. It's proving a part of him. It's showing to God the identity of Abraham, his trust, his loyalty. And then, God sees it. And as he lifts up the dagger, as he lifts up the knife, then the angel stops him saying, stop. God sees. God accepts it. Here's a ram. Sacrifice that instead. Right? Abraham believed in God so much so that, even if I kill my own child, I know God can raise him up. I know God can resurrect the dead. I just know. He just has that faith. He understands God. He knows God. He knows how good God is. Has Abraham seen God raising the dead? I don't think so. And yet he believes it. How? How can he do that? How can he know that? Such great faith because he obeyed before. So God gives. Abraham gave himself, gave of his life. So God gives of himself. There's a reciprocation in love. There's a reciprocation with God. Right? So, it's such a blessing for us to be able to say, Christians can say, not only say, I am God's, but we can also say, God is mine. I am yours, and you are mine. And we can say that. That's true for those for whom it's true, for those that give of themselves, that give God their whole self, their whole life. They give themselves to God, then God is available to them. God says, no, you can say, I am yours. You can say, you are mine, I am yours. We are one. I am you, you are me. That's what God wants and desires and invites us to. But do we accept it? Do we enter into it? And many of us hesitate. Many of us don't go. Many of us, right? Call it the leap of faith and the walk of faith. And we stop somewhere. We hesitate somewhere because there's pieces and parts of us, our way, our thinking, something that we don't want to let go, something that we don't want to give God, something we want to continue to hide. And so God is calling us out of that. God is calling us into full surrender, full transparency with God, so that you can share everything with Him, give all of yourself to Him. And God doesn't want limited relationship, limited access. No, He wants everything. He wants you to experience His full goodness. And so we have to understand that, knowing as we journey and press into God, more of God, then it's going to involve giving up more parts of ourselves, pieces of ourselves. And what does that look like? Receiving commandments, receiving circumstances. Sometimes you might, for example, have a relationship. I don't want to be related to this person. This person bothers me. This person rubs me the wrong way. But, circumstance, scenario might just match you up with that person at church, at work, in the bus, wherever. However, God's going to orchestrate it to say, no, you love this person. No, that's an unlovable person. And, God might say, yeah, and what are you going to do about it? You have to, right? Circumstance, scenario, it's just pitting you guys together. Oh, look at that, right? As if, right? It's just coincidence. It's not. It's not. Be aware of God. Understand God is doing all things at all times. So be aware, be considerate. Especially when things are happening that you don't like, it's probably God. It's probably God, right? And so without faith or with unbelief, you might think, God hates me. God, why are you doing this to me? But by faith, you would know, wait, what's God doing? Wait, God does everything with purpose. Wait, what's supposed to be accomplished here, right? And yeah, that's the blessing and benefit of going to church, right? You're going to have heard about this already. Oh, I already know about this, right? When this person and that person told me their testimony of how they broke through because of how they loved someone that was unlovable, of how they had to overcome, right, their own preferences, their own pet peeves, right, of a situation, a scenario, right, of, yeah, they didn't like this life circumstance. They didn't like the situation with their landlord, with their house, with their housemate, with a roommate, with something. And then they overcame and entered and broke through into a new level of access with God, with faith and with love. And it was poured out into them. And they changed and became a new person and elevated. And I heard that. And now, oh, I guess it's my turn now. I guess it's come to me. Right? And so right? It's going to be easier to tell and discern, well, here's that thing, here's this, right? And you're going to be able to approach it more with, you're going to waste less time complaining, grumbling, wondering, being confused, being aggravated, railing against God. No, you're going to be more, okay, let's do it. Okay, let's go. All right, game on. Okay, what must I do? Right? Okay, what's my part? Right? And you're going to start to see patterns. Oh, right? You start to see God. So, yeah, this person maybe there's an angry person at your workplace, right? You got an angry boss. And at first you're grateful. You're like, God, wow, he's with me. This boss, he gets short with everyone but me, right? It's because I'm a Christian, right? Yeah, that's right. But then one day you might be slack in some area of obedience, and then the boss starts going off on you. What? I'm confused, right? And then you start to get it. Oh wait, every time I slack in this area, I don't fulfill my responsibility, this happens at work. Oh, he's using this, right? Because yeah, he's teaching me to shape up here, to to be more disciplined in this area. And you're going to start to notice, okay, what's God saying? What's God doing in my life? And so, yeah, we're grateful that God does that. God does that work in us, including us, to help us deny ourselves, help us to be one that is pleasing to God, to be the person, to be the Christian, not just act like it, not just do things, but actually be changed. He guides us through that by his own loving hands. And he knows us so perfectly. He didn't come to break us. He doesn't afflict us. He doesn't take joy in it. But yeah, there's going to be some affliction through it. And as that causes us to cry out to God, right, he rewards us for having done that. But he's the one that knows perfectly what's going to provoke us to do that, motivate us to do that. God, how did you know? Right? He says he gives wisdom to the farmer to know, yeah, the hard seeds, you got to crush it under the wheel. Yeah, some soft seeds, you just have to do this with your fingers and it'll come apart. How do you know the difference? And that one, you need to apply this much pressure. And that one, you need to apply this much pressure. How do you know the difference? Right? Sometimes I wonder about the development through history and the knowledge that we've gained from all things. Yesterday I was thinking about seedless fruit. Like how does that work? How do we do that? How do we come up with that? And that's more Frankenstein stuff. But even just basic gardening, like understanding that plants, all these plants, they require different levels of watering and sunlight. Like how do we know all this? You look it up and the database is there, the knowledge, the pool of knowledge is there. How do we figure this out? Right? Even things to eat, what's poisonous, what's not, how we've classified them. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Right? We know the patterns of the leaves and the colors and the animals, and yeah, we've come to amass all that knowledge. And some, it's surprising. Wait, how do we ever figure that out? Right? And inventions, God says he gives wisdom to people. He gives people dreams. Yeah, so even the mathematics and technological things and inventions, God gives these things to people. It's God that allows certain things to be invented at a certain time, to progress and develop. It's all in God's control. So how much more then in your own personal life as you're going through things, right? Light bulb. Oh, I should call on God. I think I need God. Right? Where else to go? What better answer is there than God? Right? And those are the wise that humble themselves and say, it's God. I need God. Because the proud say it's not that hard when it is. Right? I can do that when they can't. So they think more highly of themselves. They have a distorted view, and pride would do that. That's why it's critical. It's important for us to humble ourselves. Then, that light bulb is going to lead to God. I should cry out to God. I need God. I should pray. I should commune with God. Right? The proud have a light bulb, but it's something foolish, right? I just need to buy this. I need to go to Home Depot and they're going to go buy some tool and apply it to whatever is not going to be the right size. It's going to be wrong. They're going to smash it too hard. They're going to get frustrated, right? The perfectly wrong emotion. It's not working. Why isn't this? And it's broken. Right? You were trying to fix it. You weren't trying to break it, but it's broken. Right? That wasn't the purpose. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Right? Oh, this doesn't work. The instruction says, warning, do not do it like this. We know you're going to. Oh, well, stupid instructions. Try it anyway. I'm sure it'll work. It's broken. You can't receive instruction from the Home Depot manual. You can't receive instruction from God. Right? There's a pattern there. I hate instruction. Right? There's a way. No, it's my way. Oh, it broke. Get a clue. Get a clue. Right? You got a hint. Got it. Really is funny. it's easier to notice in other people, right? Oh, I think God's saying that. You don't hear him? Because I had that mind too. I think you need to learn that lesson, right? It's going to be easy. That's why people talk so much about other people and gossip and can point out your flaws, and yet, right? Everyone's laughing at each other. Like, yeah, you know everyone else's flaws, but you don't know yours. And same with you, right? Oh wait, it's me too. But who can recognize it and understand that? So you see how there's some comedy there, right? How God made all of us. Hey, you need others. You need to hear. You need to love instruction. Right? If you don't, then you're going to fail when you didn't have to. But all it took was for you to zip your mouth and wait. Just listen a little bit and just stop listening to your own mouth. Listen to someone else's mouth. Listen to other people talk. Listen to when other people have something to say about you, even though it might hurt you, it might hurt your pride, but that's good for you. You need some things cut off of you. You have some things that you think is right and is wrong. And the proud would say, psh, and the humble would say, yes. Right? Talk on. Right? Yes, I know that's true because it has been true, because I've put my hand on the stove sometimes. I've thought it was, just someone left a rope on the ground, but it was a snake, right? I've been wrong sometimes. And so, so I remember, it just stood out to me, this moment with my niece when she was climbing the monkey bars. And I told her, I warned her, that might be hard for you. You might want to wait. Like, wait, let me finish what I'm doing, and I'll support you. I'll help you so that when you fall, I can catch you. Wait for me. Don't do it yet. I know you're standing right there and you want to do it now, but have patience and wait, right? Wait for me. Don't do it until I'm there. And, so children, they learn their lessons or not, right? They hear instruction from parents, from those older, and they prosper. They avoid suffering that they don't have to suffer, or it's their time to suffer and learn. And so, she's excited to play and start these monkey bars. They look so exciting and fun. And I know you said that, but I can just, right? So dismiss the instruction that was just given to you. Go ahead, right? Get on the monkey bars. You think you know, right? But the person that told you knew better than you, knew more than you. And so, she's gonna, as you know how the story is gonna go, that she grabs the monkey bars, 1, 2, and didn't go further than the second one. She couldn't grab the second one, and now she's stuck. She's hanging on the first one and doesn't have the strength to hold on, doesn't know what to do, and doesn't even know that to cry for help because it's a new situation, right? Crisis, chaos. And she's already fallen. She's on the ground, and instead of saying, you were right, this hurts, right? That's not usually the natural course of things because of this tendency in man that we have. And look, what is it that we have? Look how it plays out. She's on the floor, she's hurt, crying, and she's not going to say, thank you, right? This hurts so much. You were right. No, she's not going to say that. And the children, sometimes it's hard for them to have the right perspective because they're very, as they mature, as they grow up, their view broadens. They can consider more things, and it's more sober. But as a child, it doesn't make sense. Like she fell down, she got hurt because she didn't listen to me. But then after she's hurt, she turns to me, looks at me, and is angry at me, right? Because she's in pain, right? Something caused the pain. And so, sometimes animals can be like that, right? They're in pain, and the first thing, whatever they look at, whatever they set their eyes on, that's what they're going to be angry at, right? A dog might be in pain, And if he sees you, he might think, I'm going to bite you. Wait, but I didn't cause your pain. Yeah, but I see you while I'm in pain, so it must be you. That doesn't check out. That's not, right? But some animals, that's just how it works. Like, they don't consider all the factors. It's just, hey, it's simple enough. Let's work with that. Usually it's right. And so they're just going to operate like that. And so, yeah, sometimes children, they're too young and they're at that level, right? She sees me, she thinks I caused the pain, right? She's like, oh, or she thinks I should have prevented it from happening, when it was her own self that caused that to happen. She's like, oh, why weren't you there, right? And not remembering, I told her to stop and wait. She doesn't consider, wait, it's my fault that I didn't stop. And no, she looks at me and is angry at me, right? And I'm like, oh man, she's crying, and I'm trying to comfort her, and she pushes me away, saying, no, right? As if you caused this. But think about the next day, right? The rest of her life. So how does that factor in? How does that play into the next series of events in her life, right? There's two paths it could take. That could, if she is able to receive it in this way or that way, she can say, reflect on it and think, you know what? Right? Assess it accurately, right? I didn't listen, and that led to pain, right? So that could cause her to become more considerate, more open to instruction. Then it would have done its job, right? Then that's a good experience with a good outcome, right? A learning moment. Even though she learned the hard way, she did learn. If she did, right? Then that would be good for her next moment, when some authority or someone, even her friends, might give her instructions saying, stop, don't do that. And she might be more sensitive. Let me listen, right? Because this could be something. Because last time when I dismissed it, it led to something bad. So this time I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to understand and acknowledge that I'm on this side. I have a position in earth. And I might see one side of a ball. It might be one color, but on the other side, it might be a different color. And some other people are standing on that other side, and they can tell me what it looks like from there. And it might be true, even though I don't think it's true. I don't perceive it to be true, but it could be, because that's how the world is. Right? I can see more by listening. I can know more by appreciating and welcoming other people's input and speech, right, and instruction and perspective. Oh, really? You think that? Let me consider it, because I'm not always right. I don't know everything. It's not all me. Right? That's the more humble that are able to listen, that are able to consider more, even though it's not from themselves, even though it doesn't agree with their own mind and own perspective. So she could take that route, become developed in that way. Or, right, hold on to that initial response. Hey, it's your fault. Right? And we see those two paths that people take in terms of the development of their personalities, right? Some people do become like that. Right? Oh, wait, why are you blaming me? It's you don't see how you're causing it yourself? And if they continue to not see it, then they're going to become more that way, more hardened, and they'll lose more friends, right? They'll lose out on good relationships that they can have, because people are going to notice it and see it and realize, oh man, this person's not very beneficial to be around. They don't have a certain level of wisdom. They walk in foolishness, right? Where they don't consider themselves and their ways and what they do. And that's going to prevent growth, right? And it's going to prevent, relationships, and you're going to be weaker. You're going to be more isolated, more alone, more proud. So, I was thinking about that in terms of, this principle came to mind from my experience playing video games. It was a military-based game, so you have two teams. You're on one side, the enemy's on the other side, and the timer runs for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, and you're shooting each other, and it's a war game, so you're hiding behind cover and you're firing. And when the game first came out, it was new and everyone was playing, and it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy because it's kind of every man for himself. Even though you're on teams, everyone's just playing it like a game, as if everyone else is just a computer generated character, because that's what we were used to playing, first-person games or single-player games. A lot of, like Mario and Sonic, when the first games came out, they weren't networked. You weren't connected with other people, and so we're used to understanding the games like that. It's just me and everything else is computers. But then, as they release this game every year, and every year, people are getting more acclimated, understanding the idea that wait, there's other people. These are other people, and they have other things that they're using, like a headphone and microphone, and they could talk to each other, and they're enjoying that. People are picking up, hey, we could be connected, we could talk to each other. And now the game is changing. Before, it was just everyone, they don't really know what's going on, they only know where they are, and someone's there, someone's over there, and you deal with the situation locally. But then as people started to adapt to the understanding that, wait, we're all connected, these are people, I could talk to them, and more people are getting microphones and talking to each other. Now the game was getting harder, because especially if you weren't one of those people that used the microphone, and you're still just operating based on your local knowledge, and you're operating by what you see and what you observe in your near environment. The other team, especially, you might have groups of friends that know each other. For example, sometimes, you'd have people who used to be in the military, right? They're going to have groups of people that they're closely tied, close-knit with, and they're going to call each other, right? For them, it's more of a social thing, right? Hey, I'm going to play this game. You want to log on and play together? And they're going to be on there together, talking with each other. And so that team, the opposing team, they're going to be very united. They're going to be very united because they have this stream of communication, and they know how to listen to each other because they respect each other. They don't dismiss it. And when one of their teammates calls for help, hey, I got 5 people coming to my side, then when they're on the other side of the map or the area, they're going to rush to help him. And so they're going to have that strength, right? Before, it was about, do you have the stronger weapon? Do you have the, basically that. Do you have the more ammunition? Do you have what advantage do you have? This is something else, something different. It's not based on, do you have the powerful gun? Do you have, the powerful ammunition? No, communication, right? They have communication. And so if you're up against a team that's talking to each other, we were surprised. We were like, wait, what's going on? Why is it so hard to play against this team? Why are they demolishing us? I can't get any kills off of them. I can't get any points. They're getting us from every side. How do they know where we are? Right? We were very flustered and very frustrated. They're beating us 10-1. 10-1. What is this? I can't get a single shot off of them. How are they covering each other? And I'm trying to get this guy. I'm focused on this guy. But there's always someone behind me. There's always someone to the side. I'm always flanked by the side. This is impossible. Why? Because they're communicating. They're talking to each other. They're giving instruction. They're receiving instruction. Right? So, that was something that was very stunning, a stark contrast. yeah, that made a big impression on me. Wow, just even if we might have the bigger weapons, just because they have communication, right? They have an advantage, a big advantage. That alone, just by them talking with each other, yeah. So it reminds me of Jesus talking about the kingdom. If a kingdom divided cannot stand, they're dividing us. They know how to draw our attention over there and set up a decoy, then have the mass of people come up behind us. Well, how do they do that? How do they coordinate these kind of strategies? Because they can talk. Right? We don't talk to each other. We're a team, but we're every man for himself. Right? I'm trying to get the most points for myself. I'm not team-minded. Neither is he. Neither is she. Right? This team is very divided. We don't talk to each other. We don't support each other. And so, yeah, we're going to be eaten up, devoured by the enemy team. And that was very surprising. It's like, wow, that's not a feature in the game. The game is telling you, hey, you could upgrade this, upgrade this, upgrade this, be more powerful, and yet still lose if you don't have what they have, if you don't have that. And the game doesn't offer that. You've got to just, call up people and choose to open up the channel, right, and communicate with each other. And so when they're doing that, it was like, wow, you can't overcome that. You can't break through that. They have free knowledge just spreading back and forth, instant communication with each other. And look at how powerful that is. That's more powerful than anything else that we can use here. So then, we started to back out, right? When we understood that, like, oh wait, this team talks. Let's go to a different room. We don't want to play against these people. It's one of these teams, right? They talk to each other. We got no chance. So, they'd have a field day, right? They'd have a lot of fun if they were coming against teams that teams that didn't talk. But if they came against other teams that also talked, then it'd be more of a fair matchup. And then, they're picking on someone their own size. So, yeah, just realized that, was thinking about that, and how that's related with instruction. And, yeah, because sometimes, I'd have the microphone too, and other people online that I'm with that are on my team, they'd have microphones too, but we still didn't have the advantage. Why? Because of the refusal to listen, right? They might tell me something, but they're not my friends. They're just a stranger. So what reason do I have to listen to them? Right? They might say, hey, come here, I need help. Yeah, but I'm working on something here, and this is good. This is advantageous to me. I'm not going to drop this and go help you out. But the other team, they don't just have communication, they have loyalty, right? They have a regard to each other. So they receive the instruction, and they respond to the instruction. And so, yeah, therein lies the strength. It's not just communication then, it's being able to handle the instruction, respond to the instruction. So, Jesus also talked about how when God speaks, and the speech and the purpose of it is to mourn or to rejoice, man's response is just motionless. It's not moving. So when we weep, you don't weep. And when we rejoice, you don't rejoice. You're just on your own thing. I'm busy. If you invite me to a great wedding, I'm busy. I got my stuff, my agenda, my plan. I got things on my mind already. I'm busy with it. You cannot interrupt me. They're uninterruptible. Right? And so you see, that team, they're constantly adjusting. They're very fluid in how they can move as a unit. The whole team can just suddenly shift to this side, and then they can just shift to that side. Right? United. Right? How do they do that? Because they all agree with each other. Each person is bigger than themselves. They understand that, wait, I'm part of a bigger entity. I'm part of a bigger thing. So even though I prefer doing this right now, if they said, let's go, we're going. right? So they can have that effect, like move as a whole cloud, as a storm. It's a storm moving together, and that's what it felt like. Right? When you're playing against them, it's, oh man, they just come, it's done. Right? They come here, oh, it's done, we're dead. Right? You can't stop them. They're an unstoppable force. Because, yeah, they're fighting against this kind of team where I'm talking to this guy and he says, yeah, in a minute, right? Or, yeah, that's not important, right? No, you come here. And I'm talking back, no, you come here. We can't come to an agreement, and we both lost, right? So God is speaking, and he's, who is turning aside, right? Who can abort their own plans and say, wait, this is bigger. This is more important, right? Receive instruction, whether it's from God or through a man that God has chose and sent. Can we submit to instruction and authority, or are we, right? Oh, I'm my own man, right? We want to be God. That's in us. That's what prevents us from listening, from yielding. That's what makes us more susceptible to being offended. Right? Hey, you offended me. You know who I am? Wait, no, you know who God is? Right? Focus on God. And that will help you not be so offended. So big-minded, such a big image of yourself, right? You think of yourself more highly, and yeah, you shouldn't be that offended. It's not that big of a deal, but you can't perceive it because you have this idea, this image of yourself, and you built up that God would help, sand that down, right? And then cut that off and bring you down to, you might not like it. You might like it. That's offensive. No, I think of myself more highly. I think of myself more awesome. I'm bigger. I'm better. And God says, no, you're not. Acknowledge it. If you're humble enough to acknowledge and receive that, now you're very small. Oh, that seems pitiful. I'm not a worm. Yeah, but if you can acknowledge that, we can start with something that's real. You don't have to be a house of cards. No, you can be a house of stone and concrete. But we do have to start here. Because you don't have anything in your hand. You don't have anything that you say that you have, or you're not what you say that you are. We can't build on that. We got to knock that down first. Bring that down. Start with the basics. I've done that since my youth, Jesus. Come on. Let's move on. Give me level 10. I'm ready for the 10th grade. No, but no, you still have some things to perfect from first grade. What? That's basic stuff. Children, they're offended when you call them a baby. I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby, right? Because they are not that far from being a baby. They want some distinction, right? Don't call me a baby. I'm not a baby. I'm not like that. I can do more, right? And adults, you call them baby, they're not so offended, right? I'm obviously not a baby, right? There's no threat, like, don't mistake me for a baby, please. No, this is important, right? I'm not. You might really think I am, but let me remind you, I'm not a baby. Don't call me a baby, right? Children are more sensitive to that. And so, we resist that deflating, wait, but it's all air. It's all air. Don't you want real substance? Then you got to start at, where you are. So God's going to point that out. You have some holes here. You don't actually obey this. You haven't actually gone past this. Don't mind that. Don't focus on that. Don't do that much. That's kind of high, and that's not good. That's not safe if you haven't established these fundamentals. Right? So even in sports, we have that example. The coach is going to bring you back to basics a lot of times, right? Sometimes they go back to basics again, right? Reestablish, because that's powerful. That's powerful. You see teams and players when they're able to do that. We were very tempted, even in those scenarios. So, from my own personal experience, it's more from tennis. That was my main sport, and so. People want to do things that look good, right? two-handed backhand, it's not as impressive as a one-handed. It just takes one hand for me. Right? I'm so strong, I can do it with one hand. That looks so much more professional, right? The pros, a lot of them do one-handed backhand, right? Because it's hard to get strength on that side. It's easier to get the power and the support using two hands, but you look kind of weak, right? Oh, you need two hands to do that? Yeah, and the form it's not as, you can't like extend yourself as much. It's more restricted. You keep it close to you. You're using two hands, and you do the back stroke, and then you swing to the front, and you seem very limited. It's not as free flowing as a one-handed one, so you don't look as impressive. And so you might want to just start doing the one-handed backhand. But what if you can't do it? But you're going to do it anyway, and you're not going to win, right? Because you don't have the strength, or you're not at that level. And so, yeah, people might want to do serves as well, right? People want that awesome-looking serve that's fast and hard, and they call it an ace when the enemy can't even touch it. And so people jump ahead. They skip steps. Wait, you don't have the fundamentals. You can't even get it in. Yeah, but I want to hit it hard. Wait, before you hit it hard, how about you focus on getting it in? And then we could add more power slowly. No, I like the powerful serves. And so people are hitting it out of the court. It's going over the fence. And the opponent's like, come on, we're not even playing a game here. No, but wait. I'll get one of these in. Boom, it's out again, right? Oh, the opponent just won. No, 5-0. I won the whole game. I didn't even have to do anything. I just have to sit here and watch you fail. That's out. That's out. Do it again. Oh, that's out too. Point for me. All right, serve again. Out. Another point for me. Right? That's what happens. In life, we approach life that way because, yeah, the same heart that's in the player that's doing that in the sport he's got the same heart when he's walking off the court, doing other things in life, right? So the same thing. And so, yeah, that's helpful, right? It's a place, a little, sandbox, right? Where you can see yourself. You can exercise and practice certain principles, so that's why people like these things, games, right? Sports, where you could go through rapid cycles and kind of learn some things or see some things about yourself, about people, and you could have some takeaways from that if you pick it up, right? And say, oh man, I'm this way. And there's many things to learn. Last thing I'll share is I remember saying no to the coach. Right? I'm playing tennis, and he's saying, do this. And I'm saying, I am doing it. He says, no, you're not. And I said, why are you saying I'm not? I am doing it. He says, no, do this with your elbow. Tuck it in. And then when you swing back and then you press forward, bend your knees. And I say, I am. He says, you're not. And I keep insisting, I am. I'm not listening. I'm not listening to the guy. Right? And so I'm insisting on, no, I think I am. Therefore I am. And he says, no, I see that you're not. Listen to me. If I listened, then I could have bent my knees more. I could have tucked my elbow in more, right? Because apparently I'm not. Listen to him. But who would know more about me? Me, right? Wrong. He can see what I'm doing with my body. I feel, but my feelings are inaccurate. And so a family member was videotaping me. And then after I walked off to the side, I watched the videotape and I'm shocked. How could I be wrong? I felt like I was right, but the video doesn't lie. And I feel so sorry to the coach. Like, you were right. Yeah, why would he lie, right? Why would he say, no, you're not, if I am, right? He wouldn't. So I'm not going through that in my head. I'm so insistent on, I'm right. If I think it, I feel it, I'm right. I can't consider that, wait, I could be wrong. Wait, usually about me, I'm wrong. Right? Other people are more accurate about me. And so even in church, right, that's something that would help our growth, right? Receive instruction, receive feedback. What are people saying about me? Would they lie, right? Does my opinion differ? Do I think of myself as something different than other people say? Why is that? Like, who would be more right about that? Do I tend to be right about myself? Or is it not like that? So are we taking away from these other scenarios and contexts, right? God is giving us chances. Hey, look. Do you see a pattern there? Hey, look, you were wrong. And you think you're right? Wait. Let's go back over the track record. Let's review history here. So God, he takes us through that. He leads us there more quickly, right? If you're communing with God, if you're talking with God, if you're in his presence, he points those things out. He'll reveal it in a dream. This is what he does for the people of God. He gives instruction. He gives wisdom. But who's crying out for it, right? The proud think they have it. And so I'm not going to cry out for it. I'm already wise. And Jesus rebukes that. Right? He says, hey, there are those who think they're weak, but they're actually strong. And I strengthen them. I encourage them. I give them strength. I tell them, keep going. Here's more. And there are those that think they have everything. They think they're clothed. They think they're rich, but they're poor. They're miserable. They're naked. And so he's going to point that out too. But we'd have to humble ourselves to say, you know what? That's right. Yeah, then you're in position to receive, to eat, to listen. Right? I don't have wisdom. Yeah, then you're going to cry out for it. But so we need to be careful. Do we think of ourselves more highly than we ought to think? That's characterized as pride. And can we be humble and acknowledge, well, were you ever wrong? How wrong are you? Right? How often? Oh, wait, that makes me feel like listening. That makes me feel like considering what you say, listening to what you say, valuing your opinion. Tell me more, brother. Tell me more, sister. What else? Right? And when? And how? Really? I don't think so, but let me hold on to that. Let me push that down. Let me consider more of what you say. Right? Yeah, because, respecting, I can have the tendency, in my flesh, I'm proud, right? My first response is usually, I'm right, wait. Yeah, have a second opinion, right? People even go to doctors and they go to another doctor for a second opinion. Because it could be wrong. Yeah, treat yourself like that, right? I think this about myself. I could be wrong, right? And listen to God, the people of God, the support that God puts around you, but are you open to it? Right? It's there, it's available. Right? The nutrition in the soil, it's there, it's available. But are you open to receiving? And so, even in hard circumstances, even in a conflict, in a hard circumstance that doesn't turn out in your favor or give you pleasure, are you listening? There's things you could eat from that. There's things that are speaking from the situation. Right? This is teaching me about this about me. This is teaching me, or this is developing this in me. And so, we want to grow into that, because we could be immature in only being open to pleasurable experiences, right? Only be open to people who love us, right? But what does God say? No, love them that hate you. Why? We're exercising here. We're training you. We're developing you. It's good for you. I'm making you something. By doing that, and it's not just a purposeless thing. Yes, God does what he wants, but that doesn't mean he does purposeless things. Everything is very purposeful and ordered, and he does beautifully, wondrously. And the faster and more we agree with him and his way and what he does, the more we can be on that side, like the people who climb to the top of a peak, right, and put their hands on their hips and say, wow, that was hard. It's hard, but now I'm here. Right? Look at that. Well, now I see, right? You see the trail that you followed. So that's when I took that turn, and oh, that's why the trail goes that way, because yeah, you gain understanding, but sometimes you won't get it until after you're there. While you're going through, you have to go through. Yeah, suffer it. But overcome, press through. Keep going until you're at the peak. Oh, wow, it's beautiful. Look at all the city. Look at the lights. Look at the cars. Oh, so that road is connected like that. And yeah, you keep submitting to God and God's instruction and depending on Him, you're going to have the strength to get to the peak and then get understanding. Sometimes we want to know everything right away. We want all the understanding without obedience. No, it doesn't work that way. Obey, and you'll understand more. You'll know as you go, as you obey. So that's huge. God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. In Jesus' name.